Good morning. Good morning. It's Sunday morning. Today is such a subject, not very feminine, but very, very important. NLP, Neuro-linguistic programming. Today we'll learn how to program our mind all together, and I will refresh my knowledge as well. Actually, well, yesterday while I was preparing and rewatching my notes, I even did a few techniques myself. So yeah, we're going to learn today together. Um, before we'll start with NLP, I wanted to answer one question. So last time we were talking about relationships, different kind of relationships, and I hope it was useful for those of you who didn't watch. Do encourage you to rewatch it. It's not about just relationship with man; it's relationship in general. How the feminine way of building relationship. Um, Now, so there was a question, something I didn't copy it, but something like I have a friend and we don't depend on each other. So in the lecture, I said that we shouldn't be dependent on anybody. That if we need a person in our life all the time, then we're probably dependent on that person. Like there is some kind of codependency. Now, so the question was something like, I have a friend, we speak every day, but we're not codependent. We just basically call each other every day and then talk for like half an hour. We both have kids, so we discuss kids and this and this. Now, I obviously don't know everybody's situation. I just want to say that every day is a little too much, too extreme for everybody, even for closest relatives. I mean, unless you live with the person, talking every day is a little much. Like there must be a reason for it. It's either you bored and you're trying to fill up something, or you are missing out on something that you're trying to kind of to replace. Find that reason. Now, why would you do that? Why would you want to find the reason? I will tell you why. So when we are depending on another person, it's we're betraying ourselves. We're telling ourselves that we're not enough. So we're looking for that kind of strength and support and entertainment in other people. Now, our mind, our whole existence is very selfish. People are selfish, and it's good actually. It's not something bad. So if you are putting somebody on a pedestal, that means that you're putting yourself down, and no consciousness will allow that. So at one point it will start pushing that person away. It happened to me before a few times when I was very, very close with the person. At one point we just completely went separate our ways, because we could not depend like that on a person. Our body, our mind, our consciousness will not allow that. We should talk to other people. We should get encouraged by other people, inspired by other people, but never be dependent, and never even have a thought that another person might be better than you. So it might be, you might be, like you might like certain qualities in other people, but nobody's better than you, and nobody's um, nobody could replace something that you could not give yourself. So keep that in mind. If you are very like depending on one on particular person, at one point that person will disappear from your life, because you will need to learn how to stand on your 2 feet. And you probably notice that in your life, that sometimes people that were too attached, it happened that they get disappeared. Now, how to find out whether you're codependent or not is when you get upset when they're spending time with others, like when you have this kind of feeling of jealousy or maybe envy, or that you are not there, so stuff like that. So see, again, I don't know the situation, but talking to a friend every day is a little too much. Well, like it's not, probably some of the pillars um, are not um, are not met, are not filled. So that's about that question. Now let's talk about NLP. We gathered today to talk about NLP. Now, I why did they want to do this dialogue? I mean, it's obviously has little to do with femininity, but I think it's important. I mean, no matter how much we work on our energy, if we don't work on our mind as well, the results will probably be the same. You know how they say that if you will get suddenly rich, the wealth will emphasize what you already have. So if, for example, you were afraid to lose money and now you became rich, you will be even more afraid to lose money. So that's why it's important to work on the mind all the time. No matter how much energy you get in, if you don't work on your mind as well, it will be a little hard. So and it was with me. I started working on my energy, and I felt that my energy was stronger. I was much more confident, much like little things were not bothering me, but the things that were bothering me even more. So I understood that I need to adjust my mind, and I started also studying NLP. Um, so besides that I became Reiki master, I studied all the femininity, tantra, systematic approach. I also studied NLP close. I mean, at first I was just reading books. There are a lot of really books on NLP. Then I started taking courses, and I'm really happy. I actually did a couple seminars myself in New York on NLP. And ideally would be to study like in person. It would be better because there are changes. You can make changes right away with NLP. That is that easy. You can, if energy works slow, energy, you almost don't notice how energy works. Like I do energy alignment in the beginning of the month, and only by the middle of the month you kind of start feeling the effect, because energy moves slow. It's like honey. It's a little a slow moving thing. Then the NLP is fast. As long as you can constantly keep your mind and be conscious about what's going on. Now that's about. So I started studying NLP, and I was teaching. I did a few seminars, and then I moved basically. So I didn't do anymore. But with my clients, I use NLP all the time. Not only with my clients, I also mention, when we will go through techniques, you will know that I already mentioned them a few times. So today I will just I will tell you, and you will have to kind of to practice them yourself. So NLP really is not a new concept. You would think that it's a new concept because it's only started gaining popularity like in the 70s, in late 70s. I think it was Richard Bandler and John Grinder. They had a book, The Structure of Magic, and this was the first time when NLP was mentioned. Neuro-linguistic programming. That's the translation. And after that, the two masculine men, they start fighting over who was more powerful. They had different branches of NLP, but really these are the techniques that were already known. They just put them together in a book, and they kind of like put a more scientific meaning to it, so to say. I mean, when at that time, I guess people were more looking into something analytical. They wanted to kind of to have a grasp on something that's going on, and this and NLP became popular like that. So if they would just if it would be focused on some kind of voodoo magic or something, maybe it wouldn't be as popular. But it became, and there were a lot of schools, NLP schools that became known all over the world. So if you're interested, you can read about NLP. But all it is about basically working with your mind. Like you can really manipulate and switch your mind and get like the hugest results in your life. So now, why do we need to work on our mind? So let me tell you something. Our mind is basically, so we're a consciousness, and this consciousness took a piece of energy, made out of that energy our body, because we need to experience life. We couldn't experience it just like that. We need the physical body. Now, the consciousness also, so consciousness created the body based on the projection of the mind, kind of. So, like, for example, if you believe that you can be an elephant, you can become an elephant. If you convince your mind that you can change to become an elephant, this is how easy it is. So basically, there is even a belief that every morning we wake up and our mind restructure our body. That's why our cortisol is so high, because we're just a piece of energy that has to restructure in the body. But I mean, it's a little deep concept, but we're not going to go in there. I am not sure how I even feel about it myself. But the fact is the fact that we're energy, and we have the mind and we have the consciousness. So the mind, the task of the mind is to keep us safe and alive. There is no, the mind doesn't have a task to keep us happy. You probably heard it very many times, or to stay positive. As long as the mind keeps us alive, it does its job. So that's basically what the mind has the focus on. Now, we could live miserable or happy or in poverty or in wealth, as long as we're as we're alive. For the mind, that's the main thing. So remember, if you think that your mind will help you to become wealthy or become loved, you might be mistaken. Your mind will do anything it can to keep you in the same state as you are right now, and it's up to you to kind of manipulate that mind in believing that your state is different and can be different. So basically like that. Now, our mind also has two parts, maybe not two parts, but let's just, for the sake of this dialogue. So 5% of our mind is consciousness. This is our masculine part. 95% is unconscious. Our life is driven by those 95%. Even though we think that we're in control, in reality, those 95% of our unconscious mind, this is feminine part, is driving our life. So if, for example, unconsciousness decide, okay, so I think I'm ready to start traveling, the conscious mind will do everything to start traveling. Now, if the conscious decide, okay, my neighbor's traveling, my friends are traveling, I have to go traveling. If unconscious mind is not ready to travel, it will not travel. Your consciousness can kill itself trying to prove that it will travel, but it will not. Only when unconscious mind decides it's time to travel and it's safe to travel, only then you will travel. So don't try to be like to kind of to pretend or to false yourself that you can run only on your conscious mind. This is not true. Why I'm doing these dialogues, why I'm doing consultations with women some women every single week I meet with them, because we're impressing their unconscious mind. Yes, I can tell you that you have to become feminine so you will become loved and rich. But if I will not repeat it every single, let's say, day, or if you won't repeat it, your unconscious mind will not believe it. It will just basically say, okay, so it was one of those moments, now we're back to normal. So we need to work with unconscious mind, and that's what NLP does. It's not working with conscious mind, it's working with unconscious mind. And this is our goal today, to impress the unconscious. And only with like regular consistency you can do it. Only with regular consistency. Just one time thing will not work with unconsciousnness. Unconscious mind will not. Like, I tried, trust me, I tried this and I tried that and everything, but it's not, because unconscious mind has all these patterns, all the beliefs, everything that we carry for years and years and years. So your conscious mind can see a beautiful car on the street and like, okay, I'm going to buy it. And unconscious mind will, okay, so in my family nobody had more than Toyota Camry. It's super expensive, probably those. So unconscious mind will not even give this idea to grow, unless you will impress your unconscious mind and say, well, you can buy a car, lease a car, and then write off the expenses. It's actually would be even beneficial. Or, well, in my ancestors never had a fancy car because it was not even available for them, something like that. So you need to impress unconscious mind, and this is basically the goal. And it has to be really, really consistent work. Consistent. Only through consistency you can achieve results with your mind. With energy too, I mean, but with energy you can get to a certain point and then kind of stop and then get maybe to a higher point. It's up to you. But with mind, it's a constant work, because if you don't constantly work on your mind, you will just revert back to where your mind is comfortable to be. Remember that your mind is comfortable to be, and your mind's goal is to keep you safe and protect you from possible threats. So, for example, if I will tell you, I will give you $10 million, and you're like all nervous, and you squeezing yourself, right? The mind is like, oh my God, no, 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 this is a threat to well-being. Look, the heart rate goes up, this and that. So the mind will make sure that those $10 million are not coming. The same, for example, if you see the guy that you like, and you see him, and you, instead of like light butterflies, you feel like you're sweating, you're all like red, you losing yourself, you could not stand, you could not breathe. This is a threat. That guy is a threat in your mind, for you, for your body. So what the body will do, will push that guy as far as possible. And only working with mind, little by little by little, you will be able to kind of compose yourself when you will see that guy, when you next time you will see him, and you will be in his presence. So there are some rules to start with, for how to work with mind. Now, your mind is like a child, and you know how in I don't know how you, but my childhood was very like, I'm not even sure where the delusion, what was real, where was delusional. I was very much into my dreams. And you know how we used to play roles, right? You would pretend that you're a bird, and you would pretend that you're flying. So the same here. Our goal is to so with the mind, you never force, you just focus, you allow yourself to play the game. Because if you will be stressing out the mind, it will just shut down, and then you can kill yourself trying to open it up again. So it has to be you have to be relaxed. There shouldn't be no tension. It should be only focus, and the approach should be like, okay, let me see how far I can get. um, like I said, our subconscious is like a child, sincere and faithful, and it will get anything for you, anything. But as long as you're not forcing it, as long as you're kind of playing with it. Now, also, unconscious mind doesn't really care about what you want, what your ego, what your conscious mind wants. Your unconscious mind only will give you what is good for you, what is at the present moment. So if at the present moment it's good for you to sit on the couch by yourself and not see nobody, trust me, no matter how much your conscious mind wants to go out, your unconscious will do everything for you to sit at home. Like some people, when they exhaust themselves, they get sick. That's what happens. So basically like that. Now, these are some rules. Now, the techniques. Oh, I wanted to add you something. I started to learn NLP thanks to my colleague. I actually was thinking today about it to mention. He was a very delusional. So NLP is basically maybe even being on purposely delusional. He couldn't speak no English language, and yet he was working for a big corporation. He was one of my colleagues. He was not my colleague, but then he became my colleague. And what I want to say is that when I was observing him, I think he was for a purpose in my life. When I was observing him, I couldn't believe that a person like this could be anyhow successful or even survive. But because he believed firmly that he can do it all and he could be very successful, he actually became very successful. He did, even now. I should give him the credit, and I admire him very much. I never really thought, I guess I had some feelings like why some people that are not deserving get what they get. I did, long time ago I did, but I admire him very much. I admire him that he didn't allow certain patterns and certain beliefs get into his mind, and he was able to kind of to move forward in life and move very fast. So yeah, he made the mistakes along the way, but it didn't stop him from where he is right now. So that's basically it. I hope it will inspire you. Okay, so the first technique. So this is, I will tell you what I do, and you probably will notice that I already mentioned some, but I will just explain. Since today is NLP day, I'm going to explain in more details. So the first rule that we should go through, not rule, but if we need to take responsibility for everything that's happening in our life. No matter what you do, no matter what is happening in your life right now, no matter the circumstances, no matter for anything at all, no matter even for your place of birth and your parents and anything. It is your life, and you choose this life. So it is it's kind of, it's your responsibility. Take the responsibility. Everything that's happening in your life is your responsibility. Only from this position you will be able to move on. If you think, oh my God, people are so mean to me, and how is it my responsibility? Well, because maybe it is, for now, it's beneficial for you to be a victim. Maybe this is your state, your dominant state. So don't blame others. Take the responsibility. Basically tell yourself, okay, I got to this point, I can get to a different point. And another thing I wanted to mention, our mind is not, I said about the positivity, is not looking for anything positive, not looking for love, for pleasure, not looking for happiness. Our mind only looking for one thing, to keep us alive. So it is our job to get at them. And I wanted to bring an example, and probably you will remember some examples in your life like this. I remember the first time I went to Dominican Republic. I was in New York, and everybody would go like in February to Dominican Republic or Cancun in Mexico to kind of break the winter for a week or a couple of weeks. And I went there. It was my first time in an all-inclusive resort. And when I came there, I was like this. Everything was impressive. Everything. I mean, I loved every moment there. I mean, in the first couple of days, I was almost like walking on clouds. I believe like I got into paradise. Like I couldn't believe everybody was there to serve me. I could like the food was so beautiful. Everything was just amazing. Like I was flying almost. And then starting like maybe third or fourth day, and I remember that very well. I even remember when it started, when I didn't like the watermelon. Something was watermelon I didn't like, and I started picking on things like this. This is just a proof that our mind is not looking for positivity. It could be impressed for a second, but if we will not take like if we will not deliberately focus on positivity, we won't last in in a positive state. So, and I'm sure you had such examples when maybe you first moved to Miami, like I was like this. Well, I've been to Miami before, so it wasn't too much. But I mean, I was still impressed with certain things. Right now, if I'm not in gratitude, if I am not like, if I could be in a bad mood, trust me, everything would irritate me. I mean, even the luxury will irritate me. So what I want to say is, notice that your mind is not designed to keep you happy. So back to where we stopped. So you take the responsibility for everything in your life, everything, no matter what it is, no matter what it is. If the guy cheated on you, the responsibility is yours. I mean, where did you betray yourself to the point that the guy had to cheat on you? Basically, like that. Imagine that in this world there's nobody else, you, and you playing with the phantoms around you, playing to trying to become a better version of yourself, to have the better experience in this life. So that's the first. Second is to get neutral. This is the mistake that a lot of coaches and maybe mentors always say. You need to stay positive. You need to stay positive, and people like lost. Like what is the positive means even? Now, I wouldn't. I never ask anybody to stay positive. Never. And I never ask myself to stay positive. You shouldn't, because look, between your imaginary happiness and your current state of maybe misery, there's a hugest gap, and it's very hard to kind of go from one to another, like it's huge. Let's be real now. But if you will get to neutrality somewhere over here, then the positivity is already much closer. So the goal should be not the not be positive all the time, but at least become neutral. So for example, I woke up today and there is no sun. What beautiful sun there, no sun in Miami again, right? And I had plans, by the way, to for the sun, and there is no sun. So instead of me being negative or trying to become positive, oh, it should be good, something will work out like that, I need to bring myself to neutrality. That's fine. At least it's not cold, at least it's not freezing, at least it's not very windy, like that. So I'm not going to jump myself to the positivity, because it will be fake. Remember, our mind is not stupid. I mean, it very much knows where we're standing. So you don't try to like inspire yourself, obviously, but don't don't be gullible, like to the point that your mind was like, okay, you want to play this game, play, but I'm not buying it. You have to be, it has to be believable. Like it has to be believable, and little steps up and up and up, like that. Just like with energy, you could not raise energy very fast. It has to go like slowly, little by little, right? The same with mind. Make changes, but make changes, make kind of smaller changes. So you have to take responsibility, and then you have to be completely neutral. So neutral to anything. From neutrality, it's very easy to get to anywhere you want. So be neutral. The third one is you need to put intention on everything, and I often say this. So why would you put intention on everything? Because your life shouldn't be just flowing aimlessly. You need to have intention. Like for today, you came to the dialogue for what reason? You could come for different reasons. Maybe you miss me, you wanted to see me, or maybe you wanted to get a little inspired, or maybe you wanted to get together with ladies and see, brainstorm some ideas, or maybe you wanted to learn a little bit about NLP. So it's always, whether you want it or not, we always have some kind of agenda, and we can change that agenda. So, for example, you can put in a time, okay, I'm going to the dialogue today, and I will get some great ideas. So, I'm going to watch Anastasia today, and I will learn something about NLP. So, always put intention. Always, I do put intent on them. I start dialogue. I put intent on them too. Not always. I will be honest, but I try. On all my consultations, I put intent. On all energy alignments, I put intent. Always on candles, I put intent too. On my life, for the most part, I do put intent as well. Not everything, not every my step, but like important things I do. Like if I'm traveling, I always put some kind of intention. What do I want to get from this traveling? Like what is my goal? This way, when you put the intent, you give your mind something to work on, something to look forward, something to get. So, for example, I'll tell my mind, okay, so I'm going to travel to somewhere, and the goal is to get inspired and to get the 10 ideas for the future dialogues. So the mind will be looking for those 10 ideas, whether I remember that on that or not. The mind will remember, and it will find those 10 ideas, especially if you write them down. So try to put intention on everything. If you go on a date with the guy, put an intention. What do you want from this guy? Do you want to meet him and be like all like have a really good time, like really admire him or learn something new from him? I mean, what would be the intention? Don't just go because, okay, I guess, because he's here, I guess I will go. So like that. Then intent is very important. Very. I even had a mentor. She was like really obsessed with this. I guess she was also studying NLP at one point, and she was very obsessed with intention. She would made us all like put intention on everything, that you want, that you don't want, that basically on everything at all. So it makes you somewhat powerful. Now, for those on TikTok asking what I'm talking about NLP. Okay, now the fourth kind of point is to speak from the position of power. Now, everything we say, everything we do has to be powerful. Has to like be from the position of that we're in control. That not somebody's in control. We're in control, like that. Whether some people it's easier than for the others, especially if you're in masculine energy, it's easier for you. But we're ladies, and a lot of us is in feminine energy, and I would encourage you to also practice it. Whether you're in feminine or masculine, you have enough strengths. It's just in masculinity you have strengths outside. In femininity you have the strengths inside. Masculinity outside. But you're still strong and you are powerful, whether you want it or not. Like me, I'm 5'2". I'm like 118 pounds. I'm not very physically big, but I'm powerful, and I know that. And no matter how big the other person is, I know that that I am powerful. The thing is that we need to know this inside. We need to feel it inside. You see, if you don't feel it inside, it will be very hard to convince the others. Like Sophie Loren said, if a woman believes that she's beautiful, she will be able to convince everybody around. So the same, if you feel like you're powerful, you will be able to convince. So, but the thing is, it's not about convincing others, it's about convincing yourself to start with. So always speak from position of power. For example, some of you I invite to the dialogue, and I say, so from not power would be like, hey, if you have time, join me, blah blah blah, something like that, like it's not very powerful. Now, what I usually write, please join me, this and this. So we'll talk about this. So I'm talking from a power. I'm not begging. I'm just telling you what I'm giving. It's up to you to take it or not. Kind of like that. It could be even stronger. But I'm feminine, so it is it is how it is. Now, so it always should be from the position of power. Also from position of power. For example, I'm staying in traffic. I mean, we live in Miami. There are a lot of traffic. Now, I'm coming, let's say, to meet somebody in the restaurant, right? What I'm going to say. So the person will be like, why are you late? I can say from a position of weakness, like, oh my God, that traffic, you can imagine again, like I stayed for half an hour in traffic. Instead, I can say something like, well, I'm here. So that's good. Like you never show your weakness through giving the strength to something else, to giving power to something else. Like if I would be complaining about traffic, I would give the strength to traffic, to power to traffic. So the traffic decide how I'm going to feel. Am I going to feel ashamed or embarrassed that I'm late or something? No, I'm not. If I don't feel embarrassed, the other person will not even notice that I'm late. This is important to feel always powerful, even if you're late an hour. Still, it is Miami. It's actually it's actually not good to be too early. So the thinking should be like this, always powerful. And I have friends that are successful. I have friends that are wealthy. I have friends that are married into wealth. And I noticed that when I was very interested in NLP before, and I would notice, I would like observe people all the time. I noticed that they always speak from the position of the power. They never apologize. That's one thing. Write it down. Never apologize. I mean, unless you really, really, like, unless you step on somebody's foot and it's just a normal thing to say. Don't apologize like constantly. I'm sorry. Like these people. It's not a position of power. You should you should always own the situation and feel that you are like truly powerful. So speak from the position of power. Don't allow anything, no circumstance, no person to take the power from you. Never say, oh, this guy cheated on me. No, he didn't. He showed you that you're betraying yourself. Take the ownership for that and tell. Next time you meet with your friends, tell, I think I'm betraying myself because this guy seems to not choosing me lately, like that, and it's that that's basically it's what's going on in your life. So so you're going to change it. Another technique I said in one dialogue I really like and I do a lot is so you probably all know that our mind doesn't know where is the present, there is future, and where is the past, right? So you can be like if you're thinking about the past events all the time, that's basically what you will get in the present. Like for example, if you I don't know, like if you were really happy with your husband, like not husband, like with your boyfriend, like if you went on a really nice date, you really had amazing time. The guy came with the flowers, brought you a little present. You were already impressed. He took you to some restaurant. You guys had a good time. You really connected, flirted a lot. I mean, you were like flying. You had these butterflies. You couldn't imagine a better date. So he bring you home. You come home. You're flying, right? Couple days after, it probably this flying will cease, and you will want it again. You will crave this feeling again. So you will start looking for this guy. Now, what you can do though, instead of going back into your pattern and looking for him, you can just real life. I started today. Nice. It will appear in your life again. So your mind doesn't know where is the past, where is the future, where is the present. You can create past and present, future in your life, and it's up to you what you're going to be focusing on. So you can focus on that he brought you the flowers, the present, that you had an amazing time, or you can focus on your past relationship that maybe not finished very well. Now it's up to you. So the same with future. You can anticipate some kind of mishaps in your future, or you can just basically know that your future will be amazing. Again, your mind doesn't know the difference. Your mind will be focusing on what it knows now at this present moment, only what you're living now. So you can constantly relive the horrors of the future, or the horrors of the past, or you can live in the anticipation of some kind of exciting future, and reliving the really amazing things that happened in the past. It's up to you, and this is something that you can control. So from that, like how to influence the mind in the present, you can basically so what you can do, whatever you want, whatever you liked in your life, whatever you really enjoyed, you can make it bigger. And so for example, I got flowers from a guy, right? So I got the regular average bouquet of flowers. So if I like the flowers so much, I'll put that bouquet in front of me and I will make it big, like really, really huge, big. Now, if something happens, something that I didn't like, for example, I don't know, what couldn't I not like? Say the rain. Oh my God, it's pouring. So let's imagine I don't like the rain. So I'll put the rain in front of me. I will squeeze it, make it very, very small, and push it to the side, always to the side. So ideally, in front of you shouldn't be nothing. If you're thinking about somebody, if you are imagining something and something is in front of you, it's wrong. Your space in front of you should always be free of obstacles. Even in Feng Shui, you know that you could not like block certain energy to work. The same with you. Your space should always be clear. Now, if you want something big in life, something that you like, then you emphasize it in front of you. You don't keep it there, but you emphasize it. So, for example, you had a really good time with the guy. So you put it in front of you and you make it big. Like if you don't like something, you put it to the side. I tried this technique many, many times. I tried it when I was working. I tried it to the point that I had a client that I was not very comfortable working with, because he was not doing very, very nice stuff in them, and I was afraid kind of to deal with him. So what he did, what I did, I basically was shrinking him and putting to the side for some time, for maybe 2 weeks. And what happened? The financial institution decided to close his accounts. So I didn't do it on purpose. I basically wanted him to come less to see me, because I didn't want to jeopardize my career kind of with him. But what happened was even better. He was dismissed. I did the same with one of my managers. I also didn't feel very comfortable with her, and I was just shrinking her to the side all the time. Every time she would come up into my mind, I would just shrink into the side her, and then she also left the company. But it was nothing bad. She left on very good terms. So what I want to say, that these techniques work. Basically, you show in your mind that this is not important and it doesn't affect you. When you shrink something, even you can imagine now, or if you will, like imagine a person, just any person that you know. When you shrink, and that person is very tiny, you already have the power over that person. You can influence that person. Like you will feel it power whatsoever over you. That's it. It's done. So you can do it with your neighbors, with with anybody, with anything that irritates you. I love the technique very, very much. Another one is reframing. You probably heard about reframing a lot. At least, if you ever interested in NLP, reframing is a good technique, and I'll explain what it is. Reframing is not rewriting. It's something different. It's when you are looking for good in every situation. So, for example, I'm going to. For example, it's pouring rain right now. Oh my God. So what's good in this situation? Well, the good is that I don't need to water my flowers on the balcony. that my balcony is going to be washed, and what else? The good thing is that you probably are not outside and sitting and listening to it right now. So it's not rewriting the situation. Remember, it is reframing. It's finding something good. I even had a mentor, and she used to do this thing. If there is a situation that she didn't like, that wasn't to her kind of like for example, if you check into the hotel and you just hate it, you need to find 10 things that you like. So in every situation, she needs to find 10 things that you like about this kind of situation. This, you do it when you could not change the situation at present, right? Like for example, if you are when you are at your work and you could not just change the work right now, it's not in the plans, or maybe you're looking for a job but you're still in this present position. So you need to find 10 things that make you happy at this job, or something. So, or you check into the hotel and you already paid for it, so it's not like you can just check out and they wouldn't refund you the money. You need to find 10 things that would make you happy. Once you will switch, your mind will start looking for something better. Your mind will start focusing on those good things. So for example, you can say, well, I like in my job my colleagues. Your mind will be always returning to those colleagues. So basically stuff like that. And this is a very good technique. I used to do it for some time, then I left it, then sometimes I get back to it. So but remember, reframing. So you changing the frame of the picture of whatever there is. Another one that I use a lot with my clients on my consultations, and I use a lot in my life, is rewriting. Rewriting is completely different. I rewrote my life so many times that I don't even know where's the reality and where it's not. And I'm happy because my perception of my life is amazing, of my childhood, of my relationships, of everything. You will tell me, like, if you, I will meet any of my exes, I will be like, oh, I haven't seen you in a while, like to the point that I'm super, um, s- um, like, I'm super happy, really, again, maybe because of the rain. Yeah, maybe because I did check the connection should be good. Okay, so let's put an intent that the connection will be good for the remaining of the dialogue. um, Same. Let's try this. No, no, stay here. I think it should be better now. Okay, so another one is um, so rewriting. We were talking about the rewriting. Rewriting is actually a good way to okay, yeah, I think it's because of the weather, but I switched something, so let's hope it should go good now. So rewriting is a perfect technique if you don't like the situation completely. And for example, that situation was in the past, and you need to you want to do something about it. You want to kind of like, it bothers you. You don't know, like, you could not change it because it was in the past, and you need to you need to do something about it. Otherwise, it will just not let you go. Your mind will be constantly rewriting. Like for example, you're ashamed of something. Rewriting is really how not, YouTube is also working if you want to. Anyways, um, so rewriting is good. For example, you went out with girls or with guys, and you drink a little too much, and when you drank, you said things that you didn't want to say, or maybe that you are a little embarrassed right now. So you will come home and you will rewrite. Well, maybe not at that moment because you're still a little tipsy, but you will rewrite that everything is that your friends didn't took it the wrong way, that they thought it was amusing what you said, that it was just really fun, that everything is perfect. So like that basically. And you will rewrite the situation to the point that you start to believe, I did it many times. So what will happen, because energetically you change it, when your friends will start thinking the same way. Remember, they are phantoms, so you kind of affect them by what you believe the situation is. I did it a few times, And I wrote situations that were not so good at all. And everybody that was involved in that situation changed their mind. I did it with men many times. Like for example, if I had a not so good date, I would come home and I would rewrite it that the date went really very smooth, very good, like really perfect, and the guy is really like in love with me. He could not wait to see me, and I would rewrite it like maybe 2-3 times until like I really believe it. I really firmly believe, and then the guy would just appear right away. So rewriting is a good structure. So basically, what you do, you write the situation how you would want it to turn around. So for example, if the rain would bother me so much, I would rewrite the morning like this. I wake up, I see the sun, and I'm laying on my bed, and I'm just watching in the window how the sun just opens up, and the sky is blue. No matter because it's not the rain that bothers me, it's my perception that bothers me. So whether there is rain or not, it's my perception that bothers me. So why not to allow the belief there was like that? And who knows, maybe then the sun will come. So write the situation. Most of the time I make my clients to rewrite the past, because those situations already happened. Like for example, you can rewrite your childhood. I'm not sure what kind of traumas you could have, but for example, you might believe that you never went nowhere in your childhood. You never went on vacation with your parents. Well, rewrite it that you did go to many places, and then you will find a proof what is funny. Like I rewrote something similar, and then my mom would send me pictures that's what we would do in the childhood. I was surprised. You would be surprised how flexible the reality is when you start learning with your mind. You will be surprised. Whatever you believe is true right now is just your perception, and your perception is not 100% truth. Should write just once? No, I would do a few times, especially if that situation is really bothering you. If it's like a heavy situation, I would rewrite it a few times. Like probably in like if the situation happened yesterday, I would rewrite it a few times, like in the next day, until you truly believe that, and until you start doubting yourself first. Maybe I am kind of, maybe it's true. Maybe I was just I just overanalyzed. Maybe it wasn't that bad. Maybe I was just a little tipsy, and that's why I'm thinking it was that bad. Maybe it wasn't. So first you write and write, and then you start doubting yourself. And then once you start doubting yourself, you basically start believing the new story that you wrote. It happened to me here last time. I did like a really bad situation. It was really bad. A lot of people were involved in this, and I had this nasty feeling. That's why I was rewriting. It was not like I was involved, but so what happened, I'm not going to tell what happened because I'm not sure who's listening to this, but when I came home, I was like, I'm not going to sleep until I will rewrite the situation, until I will feel really good about this evening. And I was sitting on the couch and I was rewriting until at one point I was just feeling like, it was good. It was a good evening. But I'm like, why am I overthinking it like that? So I wrote a couple more times and then I went to sleep. Next morning, I woke up and I had text messages from a couple people, and they're like, "Hey, sorry about yesterday. It was not very nice, blah blah blah." And so I influence other people by rewriting, and I was not even that involved in this situation. So rewriting is crucial. Another one is you have to have your resourceful state. That for those who want to hear about resourceful state, I have a whole dialogue. It's calls like this: resourceful state. Basically, in couple of words, you need to have the state that is the most perfect for you right now, about the problem that the most bothers you right now. So, for example, you want to become you want to get married. And this is just a problem that could not be fixed. So have a resourceful state that basically proves that it's easy for you, that you're already married to the best guy there could be, like that. So have the resourceful state and stay in it as long as you can. imprinted on your mind, imprint that it's possible, that it's not possible, that it's already happening right now. Your mind will have to get it for you somehow, because if you are living in it, it has to happen. So your mind will start frantically looking for that perfect guy for you. And the energy around will start switching around, so it will basically bring that perfect guy to you. Now, another one is another technique is anchor your state. This is a very good technique, and it's best to do with some kind of jewelry, with perfume, with oils, with so it has to be either scent, or it has to be something small that you wear often. Could be also clothes. Like for example, maybe you went on a date in a perfect dress, and the date just went perfect. So that dress will always associate with the perfect date, with the perfect time that you spent with the guy. Could be this, like with jewelry, for example, like you are in like you're in a particular state and you want to anchor it, so you will start wearing a ring. Like I had a mentor, she would tell on every state you should buy yourself some kind of jewelry. So, for example, if you feel really abundant, you should have a jewelry that will anchor that abundance. So when you don't feel abundant, you can put the jewelry, that particular jewelry on, and you will like stay in that abundant state. Another one is there's a whole bunch of them. You need to write your own story. I think that's pretty similar, pretty like known, but you have to have your own story. The thing is that if you don't have your own story, wait, I cannot see, what is that word? Basically, some people call is what is that word? How could you write it? There is a word. Basically, some people call this lucky. Yes, lucky item. But it's not really exactly lucky. It's just anchored state in it. But could be for some people, yeah. Now, you need to write your story. If you don't write your story, your mind will not know where to go, and it will be just basically either going with what you already have in your mind from the past. So, for example, in the past, for the last 10 years, you were working in the corporate, and that's your life. 5 days a week you work, then 2 days you doing laundry, clean the house, and that's your basic life. If you will not write your new story, your mind will just go based on the old pattern and all the old habits. So the story is a must. This is not a rewriting. This is not reframing. This is a new story that you're writing. At least write some kind of story for yourself, at least approximately, and let your mind work on it. So if you want in 5 years to live in Europe, or if you want in 5 years to have 2 kids, have that story. You don't know how it's going to turn around, but let the mind work on this. If this is really your wish, if really this is something that you want to have. I did this. This was when I wanted to move to Florida. I wrote this story. I didn't know how I will get here. My work was there. My career was in New York, but I put it, and I decided it will happen somehow, and it happened. I mean, the COVID happened, so it happened that I moved here. So you never know how it's going to be. Another one is this is something to put with people, and so you need to put the right seeds in the people's minds. Don't just be with don't talk to people for just to talk. Put the right seeds in their mind. So for example, you're talking to the guy, instead of telling him, oh my god, you never buy me flowers. I mean, this is the seeds you put in his mind. You put in the seeds that he's never buying you flowers. I mean, this is what you want. Instead, you can tell him something like, I'm really liking that you're so consistent. I'm really liking that you always texting me, or I'm really liking that you care for me so much, that you always take me to nice places to dinner. You putting the right seeds in his mind. Never focus on what you don't like. Never tell people what you don't like, unless it's something like pressuring. You know, if somebody is always late, even if somebody's always late, you can say, I love it when you're always when you're on time. And this seeds will start growing on the other person's mind, and you will be focusing on their strength. So focus on that. Yeah, so the seeds are important. You put it into everybody's mind. First of all, you put it in your mind. Remember, we're working with our mind. Even though you see it in others, basically it's changing in you. If you're always focusing, like me, I was always focusing on how greedy men are, even though they never were. When I start focusing how generous they are, suddenly it's the same man, but now they're generous. The thing is, it's just the focus that was changed. It has nothing to do with man. It's my focus that picking up the generosity over the not generosity. So this is important, and I think that's it on the techniques. There is more of them, but that's enough for now. So how can you start changing? Your mind is very particular. It's a habit. So you need to start doing something that so these techniques would be smoother. You need to start doing something that you usually don't do, except cleaning the energy and throwing the stuff away. You need to also make sure that you're kind of that your energy is not energy, that you are doing a new habits. So you can start writing with left hand or drinking with left hand all the time, or taking different roads. Like for example, I don't always go to the gym. Sometimes I go to run here, sometimes I go run to the park. So you need to start switching. Like even if you can switch the furniture a little bit in your place. So you can do that. Now, what is the best way to what is the best challenge to do is 100 days challenge. I did it a few times. So you decide that you're going to do a certain thing for 100 days. Like for example, for 100 days you're brushing your hair only with left hand, or for 100 days I remember one of my friends, he was doing a 100-day challenge. For 100 days he had to eat only with his hands. So no fork, no knife, no chopsticks, only his hands. At first he was like going crazy, what can he eat, but then apparently there are a lot of things you can eat only with your hands. You can make a wrap, you can eat with your hands. You can even you can like have steamed vegetables you can eat with your hands. So I mean, this is a little maybe absurd, but for him it was. So basically when you do something like that, you make your mind, you put a point in your mind that not everything is the way we believe it to be. So if we believe that we're right-handed and that's it, we only can do with right hand something, no, that's not true. And I will prove it. I mean, I brush my teeth with left hand. I'm right-handed. I brush my hair with my left hand. And look, it looks pretty good. So we basically prove in my mind, what if something might be different? What if something is not like we believed to be? So 100 days challenge is perfect. Do yourself something like maybe 5 challenges and do it for 100 days, but consistently. Remember, when we do something consistently, we have a new neuro pathways connected to them. So, for example, when I was brushing my hair with left hand for 100 days, I wanted to prove that abundance is around, that I can attract money not only through work. At that time, I only believed that I can get money only through employment, even though I was doing consultations and I was going like getting paid a little bit at that time, and I had candles, I didn't charge for them. I still didn't believe that I could make a living without having a corporate job. So when I start brushing my hair with left hand, it's like something switched in my mind. I start seeing possibilities. I start meeting people that are not working in corporate. So this is like an amazing thing to do. Even if you are too lazy to do something big like that, start getting up from a different side of the bed. So if you're getting up from one side, from now on, start getting up and going to bed in a different side. Like even put your phone on the other side of the bed, like things like this, and do it for 100 days. But put the intent. Why are you doing it? Why are you doing this 100-day challenge? Maybe if there would be a lot of people, I can organize a 100-day challenge all together for something symbolic. So something like that. What was the reason for him to eat with his hands? He just wanted to, basically it was a 100-day challenge, and we all had to come up with something that we will do differently. So some people were like, every time they drink, whatever they take with left hand. So if they take a glass, if they take a bottle, drinking always comes from the left hand. I remember there was another girl, she was doing this. There was a person who 100 days didn't eat nothing. So basically stuff like that. He just wanted to do something completely different, prove his mind that it's possible, kind of like that. And it was truly, it was rather possible. He was able to do. So his worry was, if he will going out with friends, how is he going to eat with his hands? But again, it just happened that they would go to different places where it was easy, where it was easy to eat with hands. Like they would go to Mexican, he would eat tacos, or they would go to. I remember one time he was saying they went to some vegan place. He was eating the wraps. So basically, he just wanted to prove that it's possible. And once you prove the mind, then the mind starts believing. It's just to work with your mind. As again, I said, don't do something that crazy, but play with yourself, play with your mind. Your mind is capable of amazing things, amazing. And I tried it on myself quite a few times. Just allow it to be, and be consistent with that. I started to use this advice and put the seeds into my head of my friend, and it does work. Yes, it does work. It does work. I put the seeds in the head of my clients all the time, the seeds that I want for them to grow, and I think they appreciate it very much um, because not everybody puts the right seeds. Sometimes, especially when we have kids, we start putting the wrong seeds. Like we would tell, oh. Look, this other guy is so smart, and you are maybe not that smart. This is wrong. It's not the seeds. You need to put the seeds. Like who was it? Edison, I think. He was kicked out from school because he was not fast learner, and the school sent. I think it was Edison. If I'm wrong, please correct me. I think the school sent his mother a letter that says that you have to take your kid to another school because he's not catching up as fast enough. So when the son asked what was in the letter, so the mom said that you're not going to school no more. And when he asked why, the guy became really smart, and he only found out when his mom passed away and he was going through her stuff. He found out that letter. Can you imagine? So what I want to say is that the seeds that we put in other people's mind, they do grow, and mostly they grow because they grow in us. In us, we start focusing on other things, the things that we want to have. So again, to sum it up all together, your mind is important. If you think that you are consciously can make some kind of decisions, you're mistaken. 95% of your actions are already predetermined by your subconscious mind, and you need to imprint subconscious mind. To imprint subconscious mind, you need to be firm and determined and consistent with your work at all times. Now, you won't be able to force your mind. There is no way that you can force your mind. What you can do, you can stay relaxed and take it as a game. So play with your mind like it's a little kid. Focus only with focus and consistency. Focus and consistency will bring you the result. Remember, your mind is not focused on keeping you happy, positive, or anyhow in love or pleasure. Your mind is focused on keeping you safe, and it will do anything. Your mind doesn't really care whether you are happy or not. As long as you're alive, that's what the mind will needs. Now, so these are the rules, and you always need to. So you need to take responsibility for everything. No matter what it is, no matter your situation, you basically tell yourself like this: okay, I got to this point. I know I have power to get myself out of it. And the second one is that you need to be neutral, always neutral. So don't try to be positive. Be neutral. Positivity is like it's a little too much. Like when you're positive, it's almost like a little fake. If you are neutral, you are stronger. You're much more powerful. Neutrality, it's hard to kick you out of neutrality. It's much easier to kick you out of positivity. So your goal should be neutrality, not positivity. So when you're neutral, nothing bothers you, basically. So get neutral, put intent on almost everything, or at least on important events in your life. Speak from the position of the power all the time. Whatever is undesired in your life, put it to the side, small into the side. Whatever is not desired, whatever is desired, put it in front of you and make it big, and do it as often as you can. Have your resourceful state. if you want, you can watch the Resourceful State live. Reframe any situation that you could not change at this moment. So you are at present in this situation and you could not change it. Reframe it. So basically, find at least 5 or 10 good qualities about this situation, whatever it is. Rewrite any situation. These are the past situations, the situations that you could not change, that they already been. So rewrite them to ideally how you would want them to go, but not from your ego, but from the best outcome for everybody. And you need to feel like really neutrally good, kind of. This anchor your state by jewelry or maybe by a scent. If you are like, there's some people that are really really sensitive to scents. Scent can really anchor the state very good. And do write your own story. This is important. I think there are more techniques, but they're more complicated. Let's do something absurd, and put right seeds into people's minds. So whoever you talk to, put the right seeds. You can manipulate people like this. I wouldn't. I never advise manipulating anybody. But if you put the right seeds, you kind of manipulating yourself. So if you put in the, oh, you always care about me. It's so nice. You put in yourself, you convincing yourself that the guy is caring about you. This is what you will be focusing on. That's amazing. So, so yeah, so like that. Okay. Any questions? And the best way to do it is to do something differently. So the best way to work with your mind, to even make your mind flexible, is to start doing something differently. So for example, like take a different road, eat something new. So anything new will make your mind more flexible. The same as your energy, actually. Yeah, I think that's it for today. As long as you're going to practice it, you will be fine. You will see. At one point, I was so amazed by NLP. I was practicing it all the time. I thought I'll become so powerful. I will make everybody my slaves, like not slaves, but like more, uh, like they will do whatever I will tell them. Like, my ego was driving me nuts, and I don't even have ego. But at some point you realize that that's not really what you want, especially when you know that people are just a reflection of you. So you will just make yourself more um, feeling more powerful, more confident, and that's all. But again, as I said, mind and energy has to go together. You can work with your mind, but if you don't have enough energy for change, it will be hard. So it should be like working together. If you don't work with femininity, then you will do it all in masculine way. So all these parts are important. They all, but with mind, it's crucial to work. Crucial because otherwise. How to do NLP in balance with femininity? Oh, perfect. That is a question. How not to become too masculine while doing it? You don't need to do it. Like you don't separate yourself from it. So develop your femininity, and like working with your mind just separately. For example, you go on a date with the guy. You're feminine, right? You are not like you know that you're going to have a good time. So you put an intent. I'm going to have a good time. The guy will be very nice. I will feel really I will feel butterflies with him. I know he will come right now, and so let's imagine he's coming on a motorcycle, and you have this ball gown on you, and you're like, now what? So you will do a reframe. Okay, so what can we do? We can I can tell him, and he will order an Uber. We will go an Uber, or maybe I will just enjoy the ride. So you're doing it together with femininity and NLP. You basically NLP is you fixing the situation as you go, or the situations that already were in your life. Like for example, some people have these huge traumas with their childhood. My God, rewrite the childhood, and that's it. That's it. You don't have to sit and and cry over the childhood that already gone long time ago. There's no like, some people just enjoy and enjoy and enjoy looking for, like, I told you I had a client, she used to go to the psychiatrist or psychologist, not even sure honestly, because she got the different kind of issues, and she would just go for 20 years to the same person to rewrite her childhood. I mean, enough is enough. How long not to rewrite, but to talk about her childhood? So if you don't like, there is no point in going like in circles. It's better to just rewrite it and have a perfect childhood, and that's it. We all did, honestly. We all did. Just our perception makes us believe that we didn't. When we were children, we didn't believe that something was wrong. We didn't. I remember we used to make pancakes out of sand and dirt just because we were kids, and we liked that. I'll tell you even more. We used to eat them until our parents found out, and we were happy. Somebody, if you would tell me I was eating pancakes out of dirt, I mean, like, I would probably go crazy, like my traumatic childhood. But at that time, I was happy. I was happy with those dirty pancakes. So what I want to say is that don't hold to some traumas. They are not serving you. It's better to rewrite them, move on, and focus on the good. It just sometimes our ego holds it. So, for example, if somebody will tell me, well, this guy was nice to you, and I'm like, no, he was not. No, he was like this and this and this. Like, why am I holding to this? He was nice. Yeah, there was some certain things that were not nice, but most of the time he was nice. Otherwise, why would I be with him? I mean, obviously, I like something about him. So there is no point in holding to past and to. But femininity and the NLP goes really like hand in hand. The same as energy. Um, just don't become too cocky. I would say don't become arrogant. Don't believe that, okay, so now I'm going to make. You won't feel like that for too long. You will feel like this, but then it will drop. You will know that it's basically you that you're changing, and it's you that um you know that sees the changes outside. It's not it's not like, if I will start believing that a man is more empathetic, let's say. If I will start believing that, and he will start showing me that, I mean, it's a win-win from both of us. I believe in this, he's showing this. What's wrong with that? It's amazing feeling. So yeah. Anyways, I do that. I try to take new paths and try new dishes. Yes, everything new is the best. I even had one challenge in my 100-day challenge to try something new every single day. It was hard for me. I'm a person of a habit, so to say. But I would read at least article, mm, some new article, something that completely not mine, like something that I would never read. Or I would try some food. Maybe I would go somewhere, or I would read about some new plant that I just seen, something like that. It's amazing. Yeah, I love it. I love it. I mean, do that. If there is no, ideally would be if we would be traveling more, meeting more new people. But again, it could be too exhausting. As long as we're doing something new, it would be good. Remember, we also need to stay grounded and to stay inside of our, to develop the femininity. If we will do too much new, it might be, so don't don't overdo that as well. But do always. I mean, if you lived in the same place for 20 years, time to change, time to at least maybe to travel more, or to do kind of maybe buy new furniture, maybe do something else in your place, um, just so the energy will start moving. Aren't these challenges very masculine? No, they are not. Mm, and remember, we need to be 25% in masculine energy, so that could count towards that. But it's not really. It's just a habit. Whether I'm drinking with my right hand or with my left hand, I mean, I'm still doing an action. So why not to do the action with a different hand? It's nothing really. Again, depending on your challenge. Or I'm brushing my hair. I'm still going to brush my hair. Might as well brush it with a different hand. Doesn't make it any, like, it is masculine because I'm doing an action, but it doesn't change. I still will do the action. Now something like constantly traveling or something, yeah, that's more masculine. And again, like, limit yourself to it. Um, but a little bit of masculinity couldn't hurt. again, 25% less. Right now, I try to focus on particular people and the situations and the results that I want to get. For example, I look at the pictures of the apartment that I really, really like, or I look at the pictures of the happy couples, and I imagine those feelings that I will have with a particular person at that moment. Yes, that's amazing. That's amazing. That's a huge imprint on our unconscious mind. If you have time for that, do that. That's like writing your own story. You basically just tell in your mind what you want to do. The only thing I want to tell, don't put energetic pressure on it. So put a little energetic pressure, but not too much. So like if you are just looking and like, oh, that's so nice, some people have, but you don't believe that you will have, it will be very hard. Now, if you are looking like, okay, so I'm going to have an apartment, it's going to be like this, then you're imprinting. But if you're like, okay, I must have it now, that's already too much pressure. So like be in the middle. But it's amazing. That's really, really good imprinting. I will tell you, the last few months I was working. This is what I was doing. I would come every morning. I would have my breakfast, and then for like half an hour, I would sit and on Google I would just watch fancy villas, fancy hotels in Europe, in Middle East, like different kind of in the and I did. I wanted to actually travel, and I did. They laid me off, and I couldn't work for 2 months, and I was traveling. So it does has a huge imprint. When I was watching those villas and hotels, I was actually thinking they're very affordable. You can buy a villa in Spain for like 100,000. That's not that much. Honestly, you can't buy anything in Miami for that price. So that's how I was watching like it's very, very affordable and very, very achievable, so to say. I watch them and I think, that would be so nice to have that experience. Yes, watch and think, it's already here. Remember, your mind only knows the present. It doesn't know the past. It doesn't know the future. It's only know the present. So when you look at them, imagine that that apartment is already yours. Imagine that couple is already you and the man next to you. Where your mind only knows the present, doesn't know the future or the past. So imagine that it's already now and it is already yours. Like if you would have, I saw the pictures that you were watching. If you would have that apartment, how would you act? Like one of the pictures you sent, there was like a huge window, like I have now. This huge window. So would you like come to that window and just look outside, and the view? So yeah, like that. Like when I was watching the villas, I was doing this thing. I was imagining how I would sit there and have my breakfast and watch. Especially I love this villa in Portugal. It was so amazing. It was old and just it was so perfect, and it has this trees, and like a cute table. And I imagine how I would come and sit on those benches with the pillows, and it was like a magnificent view. And I would just sit there. I would have my breakfast, and I would watch the view. I was really experiencing. I was sitting in my office in New York, and I was experiencing how I'm sitting there on the pillows and having my breakfast. I was imprinting my mind with that picture. So do like that. And when you're walking with the guy, imagine. Actually, this is another one, another NLP technique. It was often mentioned before with bloggers. If you are looking for a partner, like if you really, really want love in your life, imagine that you're with the guy. Imagine that you guys are walking on the, like let's say in the park. Like where do you go for a walk? On the beach, for example, right? Imagine that you have that guy. Imagine him from the right side always. So always from the right side. A guy always from the right side. That's his side. A woman's side is left. So imagine him from the right, because that's where your masculinity is, on the right. Imagine he's there. That's your perfect guy, tall, broad shoulders. You really admire him, and he's just so amazing. And he's walking there with you on the beach. How would you walk? You probably will walk differently. You will be like all composed and all put together, right? And then when you will walk with him, just imagine that the perfect guy is next to you. How would you feel? You would feel like everything just so good right now. Like you will imprint that mind. And I did this I didn't do it with the guy because I really never had the, like this necessity of having a man like next to me or in my life so much. So but I had differently. I would imagine something else in my life, something that I want, and I imagine it in the form of a person. Like if I would have that in my life and it works with me, how would I feel? Basically, just playing with your mind constantly. I go to the park over here. I went to a circle, and I would walk the whole circle. It's like 3 miles, I think, and I would constantly feel like that person is next to me. Yeah, so do like that. Imagine like that, because if you will be just looking at the pictures, you don't imprint them exactly. Would you say the secret is practically NLP? I would say that most of manifestation is practical NLP and maybe some energy work. All this Neville Goddard, that's very, very, very popular right now. The Hickses, Bashar, all of them, even Joe Dispenza, these are all, most of them are NLP. Um, it just NLP is more like scientific name or whatever. Basically, it's about changing your mind, imprinting your unconscious mind, unconscious mind, part of the mind into something. So yeah, I would say yeah, it is NLP. But you need to have a certain amount of energy also to start changing. You won't be able to change like if you are constantly in the same you know how when you go on vacation and then you come from vacation and you feel like you can do a lot of things. Why? Because you just got new energy. You have this new energy and you feel like you can do everything because you got this new energy. Then the routine gets you back and you don't have that much energy, and you basically just and you're like, how could I even dream about that? How, like, where would these thoughts coming from? It seems like a dream. Now what you can do, you can rewatch the pictures from those vacations and get yourself back in that state, like really get yourself back um, into that inspired state, like I do sometimes. I rewatch my pictures from like some vacations 10 years ago. So basically like that. So if you don't have enough energy, it will be very hard for you to change, very hard. So energy is also important. Remember, energy is very important. Without enough energy, so usually what happens, we got a little more energy, then we like our body wants to change, wants something new, something to change, especially if you're energy of air, like for example water. But then you need to have some energy. There's some people live in the same life for years and years and years, for decades in the same life, because they don't change the energy level. The energy is always the same, or maybe a little up, a little down, like this, and they just live the same mundane life like that. Usually they have a lot of retrograde plans, those people. If you change your energy, if it increase, it will push you to new levels. You will have to change. Like I know I will have to change my life because my energy increases. It won't be enough. Yeah, I live in this apartment, it's an amazing apartment and everything, but I know that it's not enough now. I know, I already feel it, I know it's pushing me out. So like that, if you the more energy you will start having, the more the changes will come. The changes will come faster, but those changes also need to come they have to be desirable changes. You wouldn't want the changes to come like for example, if I would be focusing only on negative stuff, the changes might come not so good. Like I even know people that are always like fixing projects for everybody, like always looking for problems, always like their life is a complete disaster. Like, thanks God, not that many right now, but I knew such people before. So the focus should be right, and when we imprint our mind with the right focus and with the right pictures and with the right story, then the minds that the changes become more and more positive. So who knows, right now I live in a nice place. Who knows, maybe when the change will come, I will live even in a nicer place, maybe in a villa over there in Portugal. Who knows? So that's exactly what I want to say, that we need to increase our energy so our life will progress. It won't stay the same. But on the other hand, we need to have the right, we need to work with the mind correctly, so those changes will be to our benefit. Like, um, remember, our mind is very, very focused on consistency, because it needs to keep us safe. It doesn't really like changes much. um, I'm a Reiki master, so I can see auras, and sometimes I see auras without the bodies, so to say. And you can do it too, because there is other different creatures, so to say, in our maybe even not in our dimension, but there are, right? And I remember the first time I saw, my God, I was in such panic. I almost had a heart attack. Like I just saw it's like a mist that's moving, and I was so scared. And I knew because I was told that you can see something like that, don't get alarmed. I knew that I could, but because it's so unexplainable, so unusual in my world, my mind went crazy. My heart rate was so high, like I really didn't know. It was only for a couple seconds. um, I remember I saw like the same aura here on my parking lot. I was walking to the car. I got so scared that I fell to, to my knees. Like I couldn't even hold myself. So um, our mind is very very particular, and we need to slowly imprint on it, and consistently and slowly, and allow it to believe that um, that it could get that it can be different, and that different is not dangerous. That's the main thing. Basically, it's not only not dangerous, it's not life threatening. It's beneficial for us, kind of like that. We can work with our energy based on emotional state scale to monitor our state. Yes, we can. Yes, that's true. And I did observe the emotional state scale. If anybody is interested, you can just Google it. There is a lot of them. But um, but that those emotions, they come from some kind of thoughts. Emotions don't just appear on their own. They come from some kind of thoughts. Where are those thoughts coming from? Those thoughts are coming from particular imprints in your subconscious. For example, you wake up and you're like, I have to go to work, I hate it. And you already like your emotions are already negative. Why? Because your association with work is negative. So if we need to reframe the work position, for the emotion to change, whether you want it or not. We need to work with mind to change the emotions. Emotions are only like, sometimes I walk and then at one point I feel like, you know something is off, something is wrong. I go back and I find out what was that one thought that sneaked into my mind, and basically spoiled my mood. Because usually on my walks or something, I'm in a very uplifted mood, and now suddenly I'm down because of what? Because some thought just went through. Like for example, I remember I was walking the other day and I was very uplifted. I was like in my dreamy state, and there was that couple, and there was a woman and man, and the woman was going, and she was parenting her own husband, like, and that triggered me so much, because I know it's wrong. I know that they're not happy. I see that she's not happy. I see he's not happy, and they could have been much more happy if she wouldn't be his parent. And that, just that little thing, just basically, I was walking up and they were going down like this, just for a second, and it spoiled maybe another couple blocks. I was going like very upset, and I had to return and rewrite it and reframe it and just say, this is their choice. This is how they develop. I could not do nothing about this couple, so I will just allow them to be, and I will continue on my marriage journey. I will just talk about I will just focus on what I want to focus right now, basically like that. So emotional state depends on our thought. Again, if I wouldn't be that much in femininity, I probably wouldn't even pay attention to what they were talking about or that they were arguing. But because it was in my subconscious and I don't like that much, it triggered me. You see, um, and that's important to observe. It was important for me to go back and to tell my mind that it's not my business really, that it's their choice, and I'm not their mentor for me to teach them or to even think about them. They are not paying me for me to think about them for two blocks like that. So basically like that. So emotions usually um, result of some kind of thoughts. So work on thoughts important. All right. Any more questions? If you have any questions, meanwhile, I will tell you that we have new moon on Friday. So clean your apartment by then. On Thursday, we're going to talk about breathing, feminine energy and breathing. And on Sunday, we're going to talk about 50-50 approach in couples, just before the Valentine's Day. I hope it will be interesting. I have some things to tell you. So and the energy alignments I start on Saturday. If you need. Also, remember the new lunar year starts on Friday. Also, the year of dragon. Are you excited? Will be a good year. A little aggressive, but a good year. Especially if you are dragon, monkey, rat. What was the other one? One more. This would be a good year for people. I was born the year of rat, so it should be a really exciting year for me. But it will be much different vibe of the year. It will be more active, more even aggressive, I would say. Not very aggressive, but more active, like that. But meanwhile, do work on your mind. It is crucial. Remember, I'm energy. I'm a Reiki master. I work with energy for many years. I see my colleagues, I see my clients, and I will tell you, those that doesn't work on their mind pretty much doesn't change much. Yes, they have a lot of energy, but they usually waste it on others. We have to progress. We're in this world to progress. We could not just progress on one level. We have to progress on both levels. And we have to help ourselves. If our parents didn't put it in us in childhood that everything is perfect and we can have it all, we can live a little bit here, a little bit there, we can have this career and then we can do something else. If our parents didn't put the strength and confidence in us, then we have to do it ourselves. And how we can do it? By working with our mind, by this NLP, by imprinting our mind with something different. So nothing wrong. Should we prepare for the dragon year? I mean, it will come. It will come regardless of whether we're prepared or not. But what's good is to clean the apartment, at least to throw everything out that you don't need, to clean the space basically for something new. Chinese people believe that in the first day or first couple days you should wear red, and don't cut your hair during that time. The first 10 days of the Chinese year, don't cut your hair. Don't cut anything. Don't even cut your nails. The first 10 days of the year, it's like you cutting off prosperity or something. I had clients, Chinese clients, so they used to tell me all the time. But that's it. I'm not really I'm not very knowledgeable about this stuff. If somebody is, you're welcome to help. But eat oranges. They believe that oranges bring prosperity, so have oranges in your home. I don't know how. Again, if you will imprint it in your mind, then your mind will believe it's probably true. So, yeah, so stuff like that. But work with your mind better. You'll work with your mind; it will help you more than the oranges or anything else. Your mind is it's amazing tool. Again, without energy, it probably will be useless, and without consistency. Consistency when you're working with energy and with mind is important. As important as you work with your body. If you're constantly working out, then you will have results. If you don't, then don't blame the body. The same with energy and the same with mind. And now I will argue what is more important: the mind, the energy, or the body. Don't think that the body is more important. I would say that energy is probably the most important, then the mind, and then the body. But ideally, we should work on all three of them simultaneously, because a heavy body doesn't allow energy to flow very much. If energy doesn't flow too much, it becomes a little stagnant. When it becomes stagnant, the mind is a little lazy. So we need to focus on all three of them at once. And always keep the focus on ourselves, not on others. Don't do something because you want to impress somebody else, like I was. Don't start working on your femininity because you want to impress the guy. Don't start working on your NLP because you want to make everybody your your puppet. Don't. It's not the right approach. It will change anyways, but that shouldn't be the goal. The goal should be to make your life is exciting and just fulfilled and so much more interesting and just overall more vibrant, abundant, and like that. This should be the goal. Only this. um, Everything else will just fall in place. I mean, if you are really enjoying your life, if you really enjoying yourself, trust me, everybody else will become your puppet because they will want to be around you, and you don't want people to be your puppets, honestly, because you want to admire them. You would want to be surrounded by people that are amazing, that are successful, that are inspiring, that have their own opinions and they that they're strong like that. You wouldn't want to be inspired by some followers, right? So mm, so like that, this should be really the goal for everything. And energy, I mean, when your energy is clean and vibrant, you just desired by everybody, just completely different amazing feeling, and you attract different people in your life, people on a different level. This is another thing. When you start seeing, mm, when you imprint your mind and you start seeing different, like, strengths in people instead of weaknesses, like what they do, um, you start attracting people the same. So if you focus on that men are very generous, you'll be receiving more and more generous men in your life. You will see. I saw it. I mean, when I was working on this, it was like my issue. I don't know. I mean, maybe I was greedy to myself or something, but it was my biggest trigger was men. And then I realized that men were never greedy really to me. They were always very generous. Why did they decide that they were greedy? I have no clue. So when I started focusing on being them generous, and this is what I did, I actually um, I relived the situations with when men were giving me something. So I wrote a whole list. It took me like a couple of weeks, but I wrote a whole list when men gave me something, when I got some kind of gifts or maybe some kind of flowers, and I always received a lot of flowers, or maybe something else, maybe money. I wrote a whole list, and then every day before going to sleep, I would go through this list and I relived those situations. So I brought the past into my present, and I experienced it again and again and again, until it became so vivid and so alive that in my reality, in my present, I started attracting men that wanted to give me presents and flowers, and just they were just generous with me just because. Why? Because I chose deliberately to focus on past situations that was serving me, and I wanted them to repeat. On Instagram, I put something like um, past exciting situations. The last post um, is that like could be brought into present and relived, and it will show up again in 3D, like in our present situation. So you can do it. It's that easy, really. It's that easy, honestly. Like if somebody ever gave you just money, remember how you felt like at that moment. Remember how good you felt. Remember when you found money. Maybe if you ever found like $100 bill on the ground, how you felt. You probably were amazed. Like, my God, it happens. As long as you didn't feel, oh, somebody lost. No, no, don't feel like that. So you probably felt good. So why not to relive the situation? Who knows? You might find another $100 or $10 or something like that. So basically, just focus and focus and focus. This is what we can do. We can choose what to think about and what to focus about, and it's very very easy, so to say, to keep the right focus instead of focusing on other people and the situations that we could not change, and like the problems. Oh no, no. When I was heavy on NLP, I even put all my payments auto pay, so I wouldn't even know that I have payments. Like in the back of my mind, I knew I had certain payments coming out. I knew that I had set it up. I knew that I have to have certain amount of money in the bank for them, but I had no focus on them. Like I would never get disappointed. All my payments were automatic, so I didn't get the bills. They were like paperless. Everything was paperless. I never even paid attention. Once I choose removed my attention from the problems. It's just the problems start disappearing. And I'm going to talk about this on deaths and femininity. I'm going to do this interesting dialogue. So that's it. If there are no more questions, we're going to finish. Again, clean up your apartment for the new lunar year. It's exciting. I mean, something new to focus on. It's always good. I love it. It's this new year is actually better than the new year that we had on the 1st of January, because all the planets are direct and Pluto is in Aquarius, so it's completely different energy. And next Thursday, we're going to talk about breathing, the right breathing. And next Sunday, 50-50 approach in couples. So if you have questions, send them to me, and we're going to talk about that. All right. Thank you very much for all of you being here. Thank you for your patience with the internet. Thank you for your questions. Your questions are amazing. Again, I will not stop repeating this. I only see like this. As much as I train my mind, I still only see like this. Your questions give me a different perspective. I would never even think like you think. We're all different, and I appreciate you, and I appreciate your questions very much. I really need them. The more you ask me, the more we can look at the situation from different perspectives. Again, my perspective is only like this. Even if maybe it's a little like this, it's still like this. It's not as wide as it could be. So I appreciate you all and your questions as well. And I will talk to you on Thursday at 7 p.m. Bye, everyone. Enjoy your Sunday. The rain stopped. Bye.